time for one of my favorite segments of the week, Workout Wednesday, and we're getting our minds in marathon mode. Runners who have signed up for the Chicago Marathon have less than 40 days to prep before the big race, and this morning we're getting some training tips from two-time Ironman Champ Chris Lee. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning.
We're so happy to have you here. And other people can talk to you because tonight you're going to be at Fleet Feet, right? You teamed up with Gatorade, and you're going to be talking to everybody about what they can do and endurance and what to be eating.
No, Gatorade Endurance has had a series of events at Fleet Feet, so this is sort of capping off that series. So I'll be talking nutrition and logistics, so it should be a good night.
And so talk about nutrition with me. What should people be eating leading up to the race and also during the race?
For me, I mean, when you're training, you try to implement what you want to do on race day. The fact that Gatorade Endurance is on the course, right now I'd sort of be practicing and implementing that program. So you have access to Gatorade Endurance out in the market. So we know it's going to be out in the course with the endurance formula, with the gels. So I'd be trying to get into that routine where I'm training, setting that time sequence, whether it's 20, 30 minutes, and getting that nutrition in. Probably understanding too your sweat rates. That's probably the biggest mistake I see out there, is not quite knowing how much you sweat. So it's a matter of finding that formula. You can learn a lot more on GatoradeEndurance.com, but it's trying to find out what your sweat rates are. We're all different. Once you understand that, you know what fluids to take in.
I'm glad you mentioned sweat rates because dehydration is a big issue. And you actually collapsed years ago during an Ironman because of dehydration. So how can people prevent that?
Yeah, I mean, as an athlete, they're the mistakes you make, and you race hard, and sometimes you forget those important elements of nutrition. So for me, it was not understanding my own body. I was guessing. I didn't know my sweat rates. I didn't know my sodium losses. And I was quite high in the spectrum. I was losing about 2.4 litres an hour in fluids and losing about 3.2 grams of sodium.
Wow, that's crazy. There's video of that. You're crawling and then you get up and you're about to pass out, it looks like.
Yeah, if I'd gone in a straight line, I may have finished, but I kept zigzagging a bit too much.
Okay, so that's obviously a major roadblock, is water and hydration. What are other roadblocks that are sort of unforeseen?
I mean, getting nutrition, right. I think, training, obviously, we're, 40 days out. Rudy, back in the groom room, just said he was training, and I have a term for it. It's panic training. We're sort of running out of time, but we still have a great window here where I like to taper about 3 to 2 weeks out from an event. So at 6 weeks, we still have time to train. In saying that, some people go into an event with a different mindset. They want to enjoy the race, but for me, enjoying the race is being a little prepared as well, so that you don't suffer as much on the race course.
You have over 85 wins, right?
Got up to 100.
Wow.
It was a goal of mine to get there, and not bragging, but it was, I had to get there, and I achieved that last year. So there's a lot of good races and a lot of bad races. I think I learnt more from the bad races, and that's why it's interesting to talk to people who go to these events. And the Bank of America's Chicago Marathon it's a great event. You see the town really get into it. I think coming to a town that's hosting the race a few weeks out, you start to feel the buzz. Mm-hmm. So it's nice to have an impact and try to teach people how to prepare physically and in terms of nutrition, how to implement those different programs.
I mean, I don't ever take part in the marathon, but I love watching the Chicago Marathon. It's one of my favorite events of the year, so
no, it's fun. There. I mean, this is the first time I've done Chicago. I really based my training around triathlon, but I did New York last year, Boston, and it is fun to see how a town really gets into an event, and I'm guessing it's going to be the same here.
Well, there are no sports fans like Chicago fans, so hopefully there will be no marathon fans like Chicago fans.
I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. Thanks, Chris. And for tips on fueling up before, during, and after a race, check out Gatorade.com. And runners can meet Chris tonight at Fleet Feet in Old Town. Registration is required for the event, so log on to FleetFeetChicago.com for more information. Thank you, Chris.